Do you ever just scroll and see a post and immediately think like, yes, those are my kind of people? Well, I saw a post the other day and it just reminded me kind of how boring wealth building can be if you do it the right way. So if it's boring, you're probably doing something right. So make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, so when I was scrolling through, I saw this clip from JC Rodriguez, and he goes and interviews people on the street. And I saw this and I say this with mad respect, like a very average looking couple. Like, again, nothing was like superhero about them or whatever. It's just like they were just a regular couple. They were retired and traveling, but they talked about how they are multimillionaires. So here's the clip.
How long have you been married for?
34 years.
What are some things you do to be frugal?
We're very frugal. That's why we retired at 55 years old.
Did you guys invest into 401k, Roth IRA?
Max it out. Max out retirement. If the company matches it, you're silly not to.
How many years have you been investing now?
Since 90.
Are you now net worth millionaires?
Yep. And that's the point. You don't have to know about investing. Just invest everything you can into the market. Put it into ETFs, exchange traded funds, because it goes over the whole market. You don't need to know what you're doing. Just do that.
So y'all just invested in boring old index funds and...
You got it.
Hey, you know it. We put our both boys through college and grad school. They have no loans. We paid off our houses, our cars, and retired at 55. Now we travel. So we're just regular people.
What kind of cars have you been driving throughout these years?
Mostly Toyotas because they last forever.
Most of them have been 2-year-old cars, not brand new, until recently.
Oh yeah, you've come to that point where
My
now...
first fun car last week.
Ask the old lady what her favorite car is now that she just got.
How have you now treated yourself?
I just got a 2023 Slingshot. I drive it everywhere.
And you still didn't need to get it brand new?
2
No.
years old,
3,000 miles.
Do you not just love them? Seriously, when I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. Because it's kind of basic, you guys. It's kind of common sense what they've done. But they've done the impossible because so many people, they're living paycheck to paycheck. And this idea of investing and paying off debt feels impossible to a lot of people. But you watch someone like that, and they've been married for over 3 decades. They're 55, or I don't know if they are 55 now. They may be even older. They retired at 55, and they were like, don't use debt. Drive Toyotas, right? That are 2 years or, 2 years old or even older. And they invested consistently. Did you hear that? They just invested. And now look at them. They're just doing it. And so I'm pretty positive that maybe they worked the 7 baby steps. I don't know. I'd like to think so. But it's the idea that, man, there is just something about this way of living that is so encouraging. And it's not flashy. And I think I'm coming back to this more and more, where people that have a level of steadiness, where they're not riding on emotion, they're not riding on the newest, greatest, biggest thing. They just are living their lives, but they are consistent in their principles when it comes to money over the long term. And again, it's not going to happen fast. Over the long term, it works. And so I love the stuff that JC is doing, because even some other clips of people, the Ramsey will get brought up sometimes, people that he interviews who are kind of these quiet millionaires, and they're ones that we see over and over again. So you guys, here is how they did it. Here are the 7 baby steps. It's pretty simple, but if you live it out, I'm telling you, we have decades and decades of proof that this works for anyone. So the first thing you want to do, the number one step, is to get a $1,000 emergency fund. So this is really your, starter emergency fund. It's kind of that small little safety net between you and life. And then everything else you have, any other savings, any other investments that are non-retirement, cash everything out and put it towards your debt. Get all of your debt paid off. So you're going to do that by paying off the smallest debt to the largest debt, pay minimum payments on everything, and pay off the smallest debt first. Because the power of knowing that your income, when you make money, is not going back out 8 different directions to other people. You get to keep your income when you're debt free, and your income is what's going to help you build wealth. So the faster you can keep your income, the better off you're going to be long term. So once all of your debt is paid off, and then you can go to baby step 3, which is you're going to bump up that starter emergency fund up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. And this is your fully funded emergency funds. So you're going to have cash sitting in the bank. It can be in a high yield savings account, but it is there for you. Now, once those are done, you're going to move on to 4, 5, and 6. So baby step 4 is funding 15% of your income into retirement. And this is what these guys were talking about earlier in the reel. Now, I will say, when he was like, you don't even have to understand it, just put your money in. I do want you to understand what you're investing in. I think that's a very important part of this, because if you sit down with a financial advisor, maybe one who's not great, and they're like, here, do this, do that. And you just like, sure, okay. You can get into a bad deal. Okay. So you always want to make sure that you understand what you're investing in. But the power of investing and investing early is incredible. And you can use the Ramsey investment calculator just to put in some numbers. It's always pretty fun. So if you look at it, and let's just say you save $300 a month starting at age 25. Well, with an average rate of return of around 10%, you'll have almost $1.9 million by the age of 65. Isn't that wild? And that doesn't even include, if you put it into a 401k and your company matches or your salary increases, so you end up saving more. It's wild. Now, let's say you're a little bit later to the game and you're investing at 45 years old, but maybe you put a little bit more in. So maybe you contribute $1,000 a month, which may sound like a lot, but remember, if you have no debt and a salary that's $80,000, 15% of that is $1,000. So let's say you put that in. By age 68, you'll have over $1 million in retirement. So it's never too early or too late to do this, but this is the power of investing that I love. Now, a lot of people think that investing is kind of that final goal, but it's not, because there are 3 more steps. But before we dive into those, I do want to tell you about our sponsor, Delete Me. Because if you do not remove your personal data from the internet, it's basically like on a billboard for everyone to see. Your name, your address, your email, even your kids' names are out there on sketchy data broker websites. And we do not like that, because those data brokers then will sell your data, and that puts you at risk for scams and fraud. But the good news is that Delete Me removes your data to help protect you from phishing, harassment, and other online threats. Winston and I use Delete Me, and it saves us so much time and worry. So you guys, your family safety and financial security are way too important to leave exposed. So sign up for Delete Me. Go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, bringing your monthly cost to under $9, or click the link down in the description. All right, so we're going to be investing 15% of our income into retirement. Next, you're going to save for kids' college, just like what they were talking about if you have kids. So you can use a 529 for this. You can use an ESA, whatever it is, but be saving for the future, because a beautiful part of working all of these steps is it's not just for you, but it really is to change your family's tree. And if you're able to help your kids financially get off on the right foot versus in a financial hole, that means they're going to be off to the races faster and earlier, so that they can do their own investing like we were just talking about. So once you put some money away for kids' college, then any extra money you have, you're going to put it towards your house to pay it off early. So once kids' college is good, house is paid off, then you move on to baby step 7. And that is where you can live and give like no one else. So you continue to invest, but also your generosity can really, you can go crazy with it because you have no payments. So it is an incredible thing that happens. But all of this is just a pretty simple plan to get you to where you want to go. But no matter where you're starting with the baby steps, if you need a tool to help you when it comes to tracking your money milestones, check out EveryDollar. It's an incredible app. It helps you with budgeting and your overall financial picture. So make sure to check that out. And investing in retirement is one of those crucial steps to get that financial piece long term, but people do get it wrong. So make sure to check out the episode, How to Invest the Right Way in 2025, so you don't make some of these common mistakes. You can click here to watch that, or I'll leave a link below if you're listening on podcast. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.